ChrisS97 with a 1935. We are off and running for round number 4. So these runners all coming in with sub 20 times for their PBs. So we'll see how they all fare this time around. Jankmo will be the favorite to win out of this bunch with the really strong 1812 PB time. But you can never count out some of these other runners. Uber, a longtime mainstay of the Super Meat Boy speedrunning community, did a lot of ILs and was big into 106%, which is the full game category, for some time as well. So another veteran among us today. Who we haven't seen yet. So this is our first we're seeing of Uber today. So Uber will be one to watch. And I heard a death. I think that might have been AmericanWalrus taking a death on 113. A rare death on Forest, but it does happen, and it can definitely set the tone. As we saw with Mate's performance in round 1, it can set the tone for the rest of that race. So you definitely want a strong start here. Even though it's a very kind of trivial chapter, very straightforward and not too many obstacles, it can still definitely throw a runner off. Let's see how AmericanWalrus recovers going into the next chapter. All right. Jankmo the first out. Uber and Chris like frame tied. That's bound to happen on Forest every once in a while just because there's not too many things that can go wrong. And really, AmericanWalrus, not too far behind despite a couple of deaths. Very quick deaths on Forest, so there's nothing that's really going to completely throw off a run beyond setting you back a couple of seconds. And our runners are again jumping into hospital here. This one is just a straight drop. You're supposed to use these platforms in the middle, but it's actually just easier to just fall down. Hope that you land on the platform above Bandage Girl. It's a little bit easier that way. Let's see how these runners do with fans. Fan physics again, a little bit tricky. The closer you get to a fan, the farther it will propel you. And so you can do some fancy stuff like what you just saw with Chris. Yeah, you just saw with Chris kind of using the fan to move away and then back towards the wall to finish the level a little bit early. And here we go. Hello. Here we go with 2-8. This is a cat that's moving into my lap. Hello. 2-8's a really tricky one. There is a fast strat that you can do. I just don't know if runners are going to go for it. Let's see if Jankmo goes for 2-8. No, Jankmo's not going for 2-8. There's like a really small time save that you can do just by doing a couple of swag jumps towards the end of that level. But it's not very wise to go for. We've been joking about people going for it in races and how they shouldn't do that. Yeah, lots of cool silhouette levels, right? So you see like Meat Boy in all black, along with some of the environment also being black. Very cool use of color in this game. And great soundtrack too. You can never understate just how good the Super Meat Boy soundtrack is. It is truly wonderful. And here we go. We have Uber and Chris have been very, very close like this entire race so far. I think they started Hospital more or less tied, and they have remained more or less tied as they're both entering the last level of Hospital. Chris just slightly ahead by maybe a second going into Chad here. Let's see if Chad breaks things up a little bit. Getting the skip saves 5 seconds, so if they can get the skip and keep the blood moving, that'll be a big advantage. Chris gets it, Uber gets it as well. So Both runners remain very, very close going into Salt Factory. And really, the two runners at the bottom here, Walrus and Jankmo, not too far behind. Not too far behind at all. This could be a nail-biter in terms of people we see advancing during this round. It's very possible that it could come down to just a couple of seconds at this point as we're getting into those later rounds and the competition continues to tighten. We are doing 2 eliminations at the end of this round of the knockout tournament. So 2 people will be doing their last race right now based on their lowest times. Alright, and here we go. We have Uber and ChrisS still extremely neck and neck. And Jankmo too actually now in the mix. Really all within a second of each other. Wow, that sync is remarkable. That's like a really ridiculous 3-way sync going on right now. Look at that 3-5 that they're all doing. And Walrus really not too far behind either. But, ooh, Jankmo! Unfortunately dying on 3-5, or 3-6 rather. You don't see that too often, but it does happen. It's a very subtle level where you aren't super likely to die, but when you do die, it's really frustrating. It can throw off your mental game a little bit. So, a bit unfortunate there. But look at Uber and ChrisS, still fighting for first place right now in this group of 4. This is really ridiculous so far. Let's see, both, yeah, neither giving an inch, so they really have not been dying. As far as I can tell, these 2 runners up top have not been dying or really making any major mistakes for as long as we've been tracking this very neck and neck race between the 2 of them. And Jankmo again, just a couple seconds behind. Walrus bringing up the rear, going into 3:14 as well, as Jankmo wraps it up. It might come down to mono. This is another big moment where if one person gets this strat, they could pull ahead. If one person fails it, they'll fall behind. Uber's going for it. Gets it. ChrisS is playing it safe. Okay, so ChrisS is not going for mono. That's going to give Uber a slight advantage just for nailing the faster strat there. 3:18 is another big deciding point here. The strat can cost 6 seconds if you fail it. Both of them get it, both of them going up top and skipping the key blocks. And still close, but Uber did pull out a small pull out a small advantage there just for pulling off mono. Both struggling on brownie skip, uh-oh. Oh my goodness. They're back to being tied. Wow, okay. That was remarkable. Both runners struggling on brownie, and Jankmo too, really not that far behind. So, geez, we're right back into it. My goodness, who would have thunk? Brownie's usually a strat that, you know, doesn't take too long, but it can really trip you up if you don't get it first try. Because it takes a couple seconds to reset it and try again. Wow, okay. We're looking at a close one right now. We have, the 2 runners here going into 4-3, approaching Hex, our next big obstacle, and potential deciding moment for a couple of these runners. Uber playing it safe, doing the race-friendly strats, not going for the skip. ChrisS, also playing it safe. Jankmo too is... We have 3 runners on 4-5? This is so close. I can't even like decide what to watch right now. There's too much going on. This is nuts. All right, Walrus still in the running too, over in the bottom left there. This is too close to call at the moment. We were waiting for a death or some type of slip up, and none of these runners are really doing that at the moment. Even ChrisS, you know, didn't die on mono, just went for the safer strat. So this is about as close as it can get. Uber dying on 410? It's an opening for Jankmo and ChrisS. Big opening. Oh man, okay. Alright, ChrisS playing it safe though, and that allows Uber to catch up. So again, they're right next to each other, but Jankmo's really pulling ahead a little bit, showing that slightly more optimized play, just with tighter jumps and running, and pulling ahead by a level. Wow. So Jankmo, previously in third out of this group of 4, and is now pulling ahead in the lead, but just barely. This lead could definitely change by, you know, by the end of next chapter, easily, at the rate things are going. Walrus needs somebody to make a major slip up here so that he can do some catching up as well. Uber is kind of giving it to him with some 4-14 deaths. Uber and ChrisS just trading deaths right now. But ChrisS pulling ahead over Uber just ever so slightly. Oh, so the pausing, yeah, so we explained this earlier, but for new people coming in, so that's something called auto jump, where you input a jump, pause the game, let go of jump, and then unpause. And that allows Meat Boy to jump on every frame that he touches, or every active frame. So every time he touches the surface, he jumps. And that just allows for like faster climbs and things like that. Things of that nature. Alright, we have all 4 runners on Little Horn, various stages. So in order to advance past a given chapter, you only have to beat 17 out of 20 levels. So the runners skip the 3 longest levels in a given chapter, which is why you can menu back out and choose which level you want to do. So for instance, if in Factory, for instance, we skip levels 12, 13, and 20, typically. So you'll do 1 through 11, menu out, skip 12 and 13, and then do 14 through 19. Yeah, so it's very handy. It just allows for some route optimization and things like that. And here we go. Yep, lots of experienced Meat Boy runners in the chat as well. So if you have questions, they will be happy to answer them for you as well. And I will do my part for those who are seeing this for the first time and just wondering what's going on. There are 6 chapters in total. So right now they're on chapter 5. And this is the one that can be kind of a make or break moment, especially when it comes to the boss, which is very random and can either happen really quickly or take an indefinite period of time. So that's going to be a big, exciting moment coming up in this race. And what are we looking at now? Still so close. We're in the beginning to middle of Rapture right now, and we have Uber and ChrisS just still... Ooh, Uber, no! Uber and ChrisS were again neck and neck, and then Uber unfortunately dying and falling to his death at the tail end of 5-5. That's such a long death. That's like 10 seconds. But there's time yet. There's time yet to catch up. 6 played at 90%. Yep, 7 overall. And then there's also dark levels too. So we're playing through the light world right now. There's also a dark world where you can do basically more advanced versions of these levels. So there's like, I think there's over 300 levels in the game, but we're playing through, I think, 80 or 90 or something like that. So just a small subsection of the game. I think 90 levels, plus bosses. So here we are. We are moving right along to the middle of Rapture. We have the Abominations. I don't know if we've talked about Abominations yet. These are enemies that can lock onto Meat Boy and chase, and they're very fast, so you have to outrun them. They also jump at random intervals and can definitely kill a run if their jump behavior's not what the runner's expecting. As we were expecting, things are changing hands a little bit here. We have Jankmo still pulling ahead over the others by just a couple of levels. And it looks like Walrus pulling ahead of Uber. So Walrus, previously bringing up the rear for much of this race, is now sitting in third place ahead of Uber. Not too far behind Chris. There is RNG in this run. Yep, it can be a determining factor. Yep. And you'll see it in just a moment. There's not too much RNG. It's really just this one boss that can throw off the final time of a run. So beware. Jankmo dying at the very end of 5:17. That's a big death, and Chris has a chance to pull ahead of Jankmo? I can't believe this. Wow. Jankmo had a very solid lead there, and all of a sudden Chris is coming out of nowhere with a very, very strong performance here. Potential for a huge upset if Chris can hold on to this lead. This could be a really, really big upset potential, depending on how things shake out here. Jankmo is the first into Larry? Let's see what happens. So we need the 3 Larry heads to jump into the saws, and there's no telling when they're going to do it. They just do it when they want to. Walrus? Chris is the first out of Larry? Walrus is the second? Jankmo, uh-oh. Oh no. Could Uber pass Jankmo? No, not quite. Jankmo got lucky. Oof. Oh my goodness. Alright. It's possible that one of these runners could be hanging on to tournament life right now, so this is a very important moment in the fate of their of their standings. Like, will all of these runners continue, or will one or more of them be knocked out? It's still quite close. Chris is pulling out a lead right now again over Jankmo, who was strongly favored to win this with that 18-12 PB and just a very overall strong runner. And Chris is just pulling ahead. Really remarkably. Jankmo's not out of it yet, though. Jankmo could still turn this around. And Walrus not too far behind Chris in second. This could still be anybody's race. It's definitely not even close to being over yet. We have been treated to some great races today. And this is probably the best one so far. It's just been neck and neck the whole time. My goodness. We have, again, something that's kind of approaching a sync here between Chris, Walrus, and Jankmo. Maybe a couple seconds separating Chris and Walrus, and then Jankmo maybe a second or two behind Walrus. So this is so close. Chris gets keyless, skipping the key block that's up there, saving a couple seconds. Walrus, I think, chooses not to do keyless. Okay, respect. Safe play. But all of those runners are now on Fetus, the final boss. This is so close. Uber is not too far behind. Is going to have a strong Omega here to pull it in. Just a little bit more. Oh my goodness. Alright. No spoilers, Jankmo. No spoilers. Okay, Uber taking a tough death on Omega. And, oh my goodness, all 3 of them hit the button at like the same time! Oh my... Alright. This is gonna be so close. Look at that sync between Chris and Jankmo. There comes the sauce for Walrus. Is it not live gameplay? There's like maybe like a 45 second to minute delay, but that's okay. Let's see. So we have oh, Jankmo pulling out the win just barely over ChrisS. What a strong finish from all of these runners. ChrisS is going to be second to finish, just barely behind Jankmo, and then Walrus just a couple seconds behind as well. What a remarkable show from all of these runners. And Uber, again, holding on to a lead for a good chunk of the early part of this this race that we saw for this group of 4. What a great race. Wow. Jeez, that was too intense. Great show from everybody. Let's take a look at the standings here. We have Uber and Walrus, unfortunately out of contention as Uber finishes up. ChrisS and Jankmo do advance. I believe that ChrisS has outperformed his seed rank, which is great. GG's to ChrisS. Let's just confirm that real quick as Uber's finishing up. Let's see. So for for seeding, we had ChrisS. Yeah, ChrisS97 was ranked 9th, just behind AmericanWalrus. So GG's to ChrisS for making top 8. Very well done. All right. Hey, GG's to AmericanWalrus and Uber. Great performances. What a race that was. What a race to go out on. My goodness, that was a nail biter. Wow. Okay, so we are going to update the standings. Girlham is standing by. Let's update our leaderboards. You can check out the leaderboards here as we're updating them over at docs.google.com. And let's start setting up round 5. This is the last round for today. Give her a chair already. Yeah, she has a very comfy couch that she's sitting on. Let's see. So round 4. I'll give you the race time results. We'll take 2 minutes and just get all that info set up, and then we will jump in to our 5th and final round for today before we jump into top 6 tomorrow, which will also be live on SpeedGaming 2. So you gotta make sure that you catch that. Based on what we've seen today, I am super excited for top 6 tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. Let's see. So we'll be back in action in 2 seconds. I'm multitasking. It's fine. Yeah, all right, there you go. There's that. And I'll give you some updated times here. Vorpal pulling out an 8. Let's run through the final times here. Wow, there were some really strong times here. We'll go off of the race time results here. Vorpal getting an 18:03. That's nuts. That's almost a sub 18, which is wacky. Shredberg getting an 18:28. Galaxy with an 18:40. Mate finishing in 4th with a 19:03 with the comment "Trash Larry." That's too bad. Fims getting a 19:09. Kaiju with a 19:13. Jankmo, who we saw, with a 19:51. ChrisS97 just behind with a 19:56. AmericanWalrus 20:05, and then Uber 21:03. Those are the unofficial race time GG results. You can check the official Google Sheets standings as we update them. Let's see here. And we have one more. It's Walrus. All right, GG's to all the runners so far. We are down to our top 8. So we started with 16 and we have whittled down to just 8 remaining. The top 8 is stacked. The top 8 is stacked. Who do we have left here? Let's see who's left in the running. We have ChrisS97, Jankmo, Kaiju, Fims, Mate, Galaxy, Shredberg, and Vorpal. All very strong runners. I believe 7 out of 8 of those runners have sub-19s, and ChrisS has been a very strong contender and could maybe pull out another big upset here. Chris has been doing a wonderful, wonderful job in this knockout tournament so far. So definitely one to keep watching here. We will decide who will be showing on stream out of these 8 remaining runners. And then we'll be jumping into round number 5. Let's see. And I think we will cycle back to some of our top seeds here. But we'll do, I think we'll do 2 top seeds and 2 lower seeds, just to kind of switch up the action. All right. So the round 5 people we'll be seeing for this time around will be Mate, Vorpal, Kaiju, and Fims. Those will be the streams we'll be tuning into. Getting some top level action in this next 5th and final round of this part of the knockout tournament. We will be down to 6. Just 6 runners after this next round. Okay, and I believe we are ready to go. So we are going to get into round 5 here. Our 5th and final round of today. And we'll have 5 more rounds coming at you tomorrow for top 6. So we're doing 2 eliminations per round today. We'll just be doing 1 elimination per round tomorrow. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be good. And the race time GG race has started, so we'll be seeing action momentarily. And the leaderboards are updated again. We'll post that one more time for you. Leaderboards are officially updated, reflecting round 4 results.